Okay. Today I'm going to read this little book, The Leaving Three. Leaving One is at the beginning of the first volume of the Book of Uncertain, and Leaving Two is the last chapter of Volume 1 of the Book of Uncertain. And this is the last chapter, chapter 20 of Book 2 of the Book of Uncertain. This also happens to be a Shovel-off Obscure Ephemera, number 6. This begins with a quote. But are we still capable of imagining a dignity and greatness in no way romantic, and the opposite of excited ardor? The fidelity of which I am speaking is foolish, and yet our folly is then of the most sober and everyday kind, a sober folly that rather slowly simulates behaving sensibly. That is neither heroic nor challenging, but a patient and fond application. Denis de Rougemont, Loved in the Western World. Leaving Three. There's a epigraph here from Leaving One. I'm quoting myself. That's okay. I don't know what happens when you're at that stage. Okay, Leaving Three. Dreaming, thinking, and loving are not pushovers in anyone's book, especially this one, indicating that what does not change will leave. It will leave you with a strange feeling in the pit of your belly, and it will leave unintended consequences to play out in the lives of multitudes. A brief synopsis of the action to date. This book follows chapter 19, which is, hold on a sec. Yeah, here we go. Chapter 19, which is Uncertain Times and Nomadic Conclusions, a mythic phantasmagoria in love's dark heart. Get ready for it. A brief synopsis of the action to date. In the beginning was him, betrayal, the right to write with no okay, whoever he happened to be, not abandoned, just a hole where heart was stationed. And then she showed up in spades, took over, brushed off everything, then left over and over. And now he's back, but behind her, the mystery who rages. And then the road leads here, through the veil of convulsive tears, a sign pains near, ancient, hoary, but tender as the day it emerged as heart out of a small black hole, rattled the firmament, unleashed a turmoil of resentful ghosts to batter soul's vision with hurt after hurt. Past the veil, the road leads to the valley of mad voices, where many travelers have lost their mind in the din of explanation, excuse, plea, exhortation that echo and re-echo in mind's flow, possess time, obliterate world. The chamber of rage follows like love and marriage or horse and carriage, but really mad that she left him, lost in her own torments, and he's going to make them all regret how they treat him. He'll disappear, and when they can't find him, they'll be really sorry he's alone. Feeling so alone, you have to wonder who left us here, abandoned, who stole the signposts, assured the road it knew where it was going when the going entered you, and You just needed to know which way was home, but now you have to learn to make it up. Scatter tenuous light pavers ahead of your feet as you tread gingerly on thin air, and the forms of creation swirl around your face. Beg to be chosen, beg to enter the world of June. Strawberries, cunnilingus, champagne, border collies, first kiss of sunlight on a misty field. Or is this just the way things are here? The dead giant from a previous poem sprawled across 3 stanzas, lurid true detective cover, a placeholder for unpresentable facts of creation, once assured us at least it wasn't for nothing, maybe even meant something. Gone in a flash as venerable churches, presto, changeo, transform into pricey condos. And overnight, Sunday shopping became a sacred ritual in the quest for some feeling to replace him or her. Let me repeat, it's lonely out here in the dark, scary and confusing. So don't get me wrong, a good deal is just what ordered the dark away, if only long enough to do it again. That's abandoned with a capital A, but it doesn't make a knot of rage cramp the heart. More like a sudden urge to go shopping on Sunday. Meanwhile, tears rain on the thought of deep soul love and its death, a leaving beyond dead giants' legacy of compulsive philosophy, a leaving tortured by fear of the partial world only her eyes can finish, having occupied being while unable to touch. Eyes that insist what's not to be is all that's worth having, deferred fulfillment within reach, then gone, abandoned again, as per the old rules. A brief therapeutic interlude. Disguised voice, analytical, angry, modulates animus, mother, need, grief, hurt, nothing at this point. There, complex revealed once, drive away, leaving blame, soul, roused, inhabited, anima, aspect, psyche, lost wells up, hurt, leaving projected, occupy, sacred, plead, withdrawing, rule, hurt, feel bad, swell, thought, spiritual, paroxysm, fear, love, seizure. In the midst of the storm, psyche rises beneath a full moon, clouds scudding across its blank face. Oracular, prophetic, entranced, her head tilted, thoughtful, blank eyes turned inward mirror the moon's white gaze. She is the moon, and moon is her, hair tossed in the storm wind. Her hands are mystery. Palms out, they frame her God-struck face, receptive, ready to catch, and they are rising in awe, and they frame her vision, inner revelation, informs new measure of the world. Here's another quote from the first Leaving, Chapter 1. 3 categories of leaving, often overlooked in the rush to get started: dreaming, thinking, and loving. Leaving's promise is not amnesiac, but aggregate, unleashes streams of image buried beneath fulfilled chore lists, distribution of temporal allotment in bulleted order, breaks the time dam, crashes the matrix, and whoa, you're off, though sometimes off can get, say, emotional, even really, really emotional in ways that careen through adjacent lives, break cherished things beyond repair, a dance, a posh, leaves the dancers wounded and wary, star-crossed and anxious, for a little peace after the storm, perhaps the same one Psyche is in, though this one was a doozy and it left the place a wreck, pieces of broken love scattered across vast reaches of heart stretch all the way to where it's leaving. But don't get hung up on that. Leaving's always game to go, to leave the ruins of leaving, to ride dreaming, thinking, loving into a new being together, aggregate of time's eternal gift, leaving. Leaving is a theme with good credentials, and often appears in unexpected locales where it stands in place of closure, an imaginary condition invented by the media to include in scripts for questioning survivors of random violence and catastrophic environmental collapse, along with how does it feel? Are you fucking kidding me? Proposing instead a mobile resolution. Rear view mirror goodbye to the whole bloody mess. Keep the wagons rolling. Head 'em up. Move 'em out, to quote Rowdy Yates, a mythic figure who watches over leaving, which some might say just evades the problem. And they may be right, but maybe evading the problem is exactly what's called for when the problem calls for more closure than the world can think. And maybe to leave is not so much to evade as to carry on to where there's new light, akin to moonlight, and the problem may suddenly look very much like a white rose. One of the figures that's appeared in these poems from the very beginning is someone named Harvey Brown. Kind of guide, a kind of Virgil. Harvey waves goodbye from the side of the road. Adios. The metaphysics of leaving coagulates grief seizures, acute pain in the heart and ache, imitates a hole in the world once occupied by Gordon or Kent. A pit aches to be filled with familiar love, shared time, touch of voice, discount movies on the main, Montreal, 1967, thrill of shared words, resistance to banal ambition, all gone in the whirl left in mind, though also oddly not gone, till these synaptic passages bite the dust too. Then what happens to the forms we brought to time's canvas? Blank page are filled with words, rage, love, laughter, above all, laughter, tried and true cure for what ails you and the world tied to your tail, clanging along behind in spite of your best effort at grace. Gordon's advice from Philo: be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a great battle. Seems like the way to go. Leave judgment to those inclined to bear it, when who the hell knows what's going on. When crazy love can storm out of the blue through settled, scatter ordinary comforts, affection in heat blast, leaves swollen flesh yearning for sacred embrace she promises, threatens to destroy a life of choices, slow, day by day gathering of together swamped, washed away, or not. Though leaving love is never easy, especially crazy love, to find a way through turmoil of awakened dead who flock to prey on buried sorrow's deep rage and a love beyond all earthly love. Raises ground, leaves nothing to live behind passage of its alien hunger. Touch fades, or the memory of touch's pleasure, intimate being a state where minds mingled in the sea, intimate carry, intimate, carry, sorry. Touch fades, or the memory of touch's pleasure. Intimate being a state where minds mingled in the sea, intimate carries in its heart. Still welcomes the thought of her electric thrill to first forbidden touch. Still dances in night's dark mirror, his strange young flesh aroused. Shared revelations of soul ecstasy, preserved in leavings, love lingers in common world of our making. Luminous green fuse of morning's joy beyond us revels in stars' first kiss. World wakes up again. Spiritus Sanctus. Where's my God? Where's my honey? For David Murray and Kahil El-Zabar. The gathering of leaving hums electric together's voltage sounds, sea murmurs, meanings, music, bound with common leaving. In wake of drums, sudden time adjustment, open soul to sun's pulses, it weaves a beautiful pathology through minds caught in sky's translation of first beat thinking. What we truly know, so basic no one listens except in locales of instrumental eruptions of heaven's disharmonious paean to the edge where leaving is breathing, inspiration. Spirit was said to be from Proto-Indo-European speus, to blow, of course, a reed that splits aspiration into the sound love sends to calm rage, heal pain in vibrational wave rises, inundates being with more breath, more music, more rhythm, more dance, more love embraced by breath, stirred the waters, caresses reed-shaped word, leaving is its other name, breathing inspired while breath pours in and out, systole, diastole, star beat, cosmic spirit pulse, and someone puts a reed in the midst of spirit's flow, that stump of soft muscle measures soundings flow, and the next thing you know, drums, time's heart of matter as tongue modulates knowledge of summer times, exquisite rhythms into dancing flesh, numinous instigations, and spirit wail. If you don't know those guys, you should. Kahil El-Zabar. Epilogue. Epigraph. How can I attain the knowledge of the heart? You can attain this knowledge only by living your life to the full. You should say, the life that I could still live, I should live, and the thoughts that I could still think, I should think. It appears as though you want to flee from yourself so as not to have to live what remains unlived up till now. C.G. Jung, Liber Novalis, The Red Book. Past the crest, uncertain pulls over for a breather and a look-see, considers options before final descent down, having added more dimension than previously suspected, given recent bushwhacking by godly assault on complacent, a former mode of self-starvation in midst of still a lot of unlived choices to come, left the poem reeling from too many shots to the head, looking for a way out of stories foretold KO in the tent. Ground drops away. Familiar landscapes arrangement fades and ambiguous vistas dark swirl at the limit of vision's reach, where dreams breed with gods. monsters, ghosts, damsels, archaic language of person from beneath, figures of teeming dead articulated in degrees of shadow and love, tell of hearts tripped through obscure regions of story, battered by ardors come hither glances, and indiscriminate possession of whoever's around in name, of monstrous amplitudes of more, as if burning could reanimate matter's lost brilliance, to feed endless dead clamor from the margins, looking for a way in through love's weakness, for a hot kiss out of nowhere opens the gate to pandemonium. Uncertain options roll around the bowl of night as fidelity flashes across moon's buttery face, a sign of further implications folded into days' orders as days unfold evidence of angelic intervention in night's revelations of hidden commitment to truth's diamond core. Fidelity is always fidelity to self, to what remains unlived, ripe for life. In the beginning, at Cataluhuk, which was free of both palace and market, auroch skulls stared from the walls, and the dead rested beneath the floor, death never far, near to hand, and the dead, even her opulent, nourishing flesh, gives way behind to ribs, vertebra, scapula, pelvic bones, remains of death's hunger, her other face, as if to say, hold it close, my dears, all of it, if you would know the mystery of my love.